Good evening. My name is Thurman Greco, and the name of this show is Let's Live with Thurman Greco, and it's coming to you from scenic downtown Woodstock, New York. And this show has been playing for almost two decades, if maybe a little bit more than 2 decades. And we are also on YouTube, Let's Live with Thurman Greco. And I am now, I'm writing a book about the tarot. I'm writing my 3rd book about the tarot. And so I am occasionally doing shows about the cards. And so tonight, instead of a guest, well, actually tonight the tarot is the guest. And we are highlighting a card tonight, which I have not discussed on this program at all yet. We are highlighting the Fool. And the Fool is the strongest card in the tarot. And it was very interesting because when the tarot emerged in the 1500s, and it really emerged kind of the way it is now. In other words, it had been a certain way, and then we had the printing press, and we had a population of Italians that had the money to get cards printed and to hire an artist to paint the cards. So we had a population of people who liked to play the cards, and Tarocchi surfaced as a way of telling the future and divining the future. And this card has been since the very beginning. This is the Fool. And don't be bothered by the title, because the Fool is truly a very wise card. When you get the Fool, you've got the Fool. This card says that you are on a spiritual journey and will continue for the rest of your life. So that's what this card says. And as you travel through life, this card takes on, the Fool takes on qualities of the other archetypes. So he's always with you and is there to the very end. And this card, when you get the Fool, you are on a spiritual journey, and this is your journey. So we're going to start off this evening talking about the symbolism of this card, because all of the cards in the tarot deck that I use have been painted with colors that represent certain things. So we have symbolism in each card. And one of the ways that you can understand each card is by looking at the card and seeing what you see. For example, we have a rock here in the bottom of this card, and you have the Fool stepping off the rock as he begins a new journey. So when you get this card, you are beginning a new journey, a spiritual journey with the Fool. And he has a companion with him, a little dog. And that little companion has been with him for a long time. The Fool is confident, he's trusting, and he's taking a blind leap of faith. And that's what we all take when we go on a spiritual journey. That blind leap of faith that's your first step. I'm going to do this. And the companion animal is a little white dog, and he travels through the tarot with the Fool. And he represents the action of the moment, and he represents nature. And he helps the Fool develop his instincts. So here you have the Fool on the edge of this cliff, and you have this little dog with him. And the fool is holding a white rose in his left hand. And this rose represents passion, and it also represents silence. The white rose represents silence and rebirth, whereas roses in and of themselves are passion. And the fool carries a bag. He's got a bag which he carries at the end of a stick, and it's on his right shoulder. And there is an image of a hawk's head drawn on the bag. And this is his bag of tricks. This is his bag of experiences. And you know, literally, we each have bags of experiences. That's what we carry with us through life. This bag it holds the personality and all of its parts. So when you think of yourself as going through life, you've got a personality, you have a bag, you have all these experiences. And they don't control you, but you're definitely there with them. Now, the bag, he's carrying the bag on the end of a stick, and the stick is really a wand, and it represents the power of the fool. And the fool this is the most powerful card in the deck. So this fool is extremely powerful. And if you look at it, the wand is black. So it's got all of the colors in the rainbow are there. And that means it's very powerful. Now, there are on the fool's tunic, there are flowers and fruit. And the fool has a feather in his cap, and the feather is pointing to the sun. And the sun is the enlightenment. So when you see a sun in the tarot, you're looking at enlightenment, and that's right up there. And the fool is looking away from the sun, because the sun is going on his journey. And behind the fool is this lovely mountain. And the mountain is something the fool is going to climb in order to get to his enlightenment. So when you think of getting the fool, you think of the journey, you think of the mountain you're going to climb, and you think of your goal at the end, which is enlightenment. And also, this is a card in which the fool is moving. You can see that he's walking. He's stepping. He's getting ready to leap. He's getting ready to take a leap of faith. And the fool is always on the move. So if you ever get the fool card in a spread, keep that in mind. The fool is always on the move. He's always working toward his destiny. And he has a lot of self-confidence. And the reason he has self-confidence is because we see the yellow boots. And he has a bundle on the staff, and that's that bag on the staff, that bundle, that red bundle. Those are his burdens. The number of this card is 0, and that's the search for the absolute. So now that we have kind of described this card, one of the things that I will say, and I don't think it's repeated anywhere in these things that I wrote that I'm reading, is that as you go through your spiritual journey, you encounter all of the other major arcana cards in your life. So that you go from the fool, you go to the magician, and then you go to the empress, and then you go to the emperor. So there is a journey that you go through. These are phases that you go through in your journey of spiritual enlightenment. And you learn something from the personality of each card. So for me, the Fool is not a here today, gone tomorrow event in your life. And that's very true. When you get this guy, you've got this guy with you. When the Fool invites you to come along on his path, you have an opportunity to live and learn from all the other major arcana as you travel from the Magician to the World. And this is your one-way ticket on your spiritual journey. And it's really interesting because we go from the first card is the Magician, and the last card is the World. And I do think it's very interesting. Very, very, very few people, young people, get the World. The World is a wonderful card, but it is a mature card, and you have to have experienced all of the cards on this table before you're ready for the World. So that's very interesting. The Fool is the most powerful card in the deck, and to the Fool, what can and be and what actually is are the same. So the Fool doesn't recognize really failure. The Fool mentors the tarot as he journeys through the experiences of life, and he changes each leg of your journey changes you in some way. It matures you in some way. And each leg of the journey, each stop has an experience. And as the Fool journeys through the major arcana, he travels through these life experiences. And the Fool sees each one as an opportunity to learn and grow from the new world which is offered by this adventure. So it's very true that a person on a spiritual journey is going to have a lot of different experiences, and they're all going to change with each card that shows up as you go along. And we experience these challenges as we travel through our own life journey. We adapt and we reawaken. The presence of the Fool shows up in every spread, even if the Fool is not on the spread. Once you get the Fool, that card is with you. But you may have other spreads in the future in which the Fool is not all that evident. For example, you may, through time, here's one, just any card, you get the Hermit. Well, this is the Fool in the embodiment of the experience of the Hermit. And if you get the Tower, this is the Fool in the embodiment of the experience of the Tower. So the Fool is there in every card that you get. And the Fool's appearance they just occur because the Fool lives of the moment. He's very of the moment. And the journeys are unintentional. It's not as if the Fool says, well, I'm going to do this one next, and then 6 months from now I'm going to do something else. As life experiences go along, the cards turn up, and that's how you work. Your life story doesn't limit him, whether it's a career change, a new romance, or changing to a new location, living in a new place. The Fool's appearance tells you that something new has just entered your life in the form of opportunity, adventure, and escape. So you want to think about those three words. The Fool offers you opportunity, the Fool offers you adventure, and the Fool offers you an escape. And the experiences that you have through the tarot, through your spiritual journey, reveal your true potential. And so your new life journey is going to be very exciting. You're going to have new challenges and projects to empower you as you find yourself, because that's what you're doing with the Fool. You're finding yourself. And you're going to feel protected. And this attitude tells everyone that you're connected to something a little bit bigger than yourself. So having had the Fool find you means that you have some opportunities. Things are maybe a little bigger than yourself, and you can open your eyes a little wider. And I have a story to illustrate this. Back in the 1990s, I took a massage class. I had already graduated from PMTI a decade before, so I was already a massage therapist and a healer. And Marge Durso, my reflexology guru, was teaching a new massage modality. And our class was really small. We had only 8 students. When I was at PMTI, we had between 20 and 30. I mean, this was just a really small group. And one of my fellow students was a young woman whose name was Elizabeth. And while the rest of us were trying to learn new massage strokes and more about the body systems, Elizabeth just flew through the class. It seemed that the information went from Marge's mouth straight into Elizabeth's brain and her hands. I think she absorbed the information through the pores of her skin. I mean, it just went whoosh, and there she had it. She tapped into a source of potential, and she was making a new start in life. Elizabeth jumped into the unknown with her whole being. She had an inquisitive mind, and her heart just carried her forward. As the class progressed, Marge had us gathering our list of people for our clinicals. While we scrounged around looking for people, Elizabeth's list of contact information, including people who seemed to just appear out of nowhere trying to receive a massage. I mean, it was like everybody else was struggling. Can we add another person? Maybe I can find my neighbor over here, and I've got a cousin I haven't seen in 5 years. Let me call that one. Listen, Elizabeth's list just grew. And a couple of people actually got jobs. But I didn't. I saw her situation for what it was. Marge's massage class was a new beginning for Elizabeth. She was a modern-day version of the age-old tarot card, the Fool. While the rest of us wore comfortable clothing, we came to class in jeans or sweatpants, Elizabeth attended every class dressed colorfully and richly. She celebrated her total openness in life. And anything on the curriculum that day, whatever it was, Elizabeth was there. Bring it on. Elizabeth wore gorgeous shoes. She wore sandals with 4-inch heels. She had wedge-sole pumps. Her shoes, her clothes celebrated her life, love, reflexology, and massage. She was just a walking celebration. And how did that happen? Why Elizabeth? How did this happen to her? Well, I think Marge did something, I guess, because Elizabeth seemed to just see through all of the illusions. She got past all of the obstacles, and she just took a chance. Whatever she found, she went with it, and that was on every class. And she didn't travel alone. Her companions, friends, and experiences supported her, and they didn't control her. And healing skills became her power symbols. When the rest of us were afraid to move forward using their new skills, and let me tell you, that new massage was very challenging. Elizabeth saw the things she learned. She saw these things as possibilities. She saw them as opportunities. And even though everything was brand new and it was completely different territory and the chapters were difficult, she just went right with it. She experienced change at every level she encountered. So she just went with it. Just like when you have gotten the Fool, and you know that you're on this journey, and you're going to just go with these changes. What's coming your way, you're going to take it. Elizabeth experienced change at every level. She was personal, it was relational, it was colorful, it was cultural, and it was systematic. Elizabeth's Fool energy stood for inner spiritual freedom that allowed her to enjoy her new skills and accomplishments. She avoided entrapment and was courageous enough to dance new dances while feeling anxious and uncertain. If Elizabeth feared any unexpected surprises along the way, none of us ever knew it. Her confidence and idealism allowed her to be ready for everything. And when the class ended, Elizabeth embarked on the next leg of her journey. She danced along to her career. She was unafraid of the surprises which she might find on her way. She went job hunting. She carried an ubiquitous bag, and I just felt the bag was this was her purse, and I just felt it was filled with magical opportunities. The rest of us were out job hunting or doing whatever we were doing, and we were being very cautious, and it was like, oh, I don't know, I've got a test to pass, all of these things. She just grabbed her tote bag and off she went. And time passed. The last time I spoke with Elizabeth, she admitted that she had had several jobs in a row before she found her best opportunity. And when I listened to her, it seemed like she had 10 or 12 jobs in like 10 or 12 weeks. But that's okay. She tried on each one, and if it didn't fit, off she was gone. Her confidence and idealism carried her through to the best place that was waiting for her, which was a very small healing spa. Elizabeth and her healing embraced the world and all it had to offer. For sure, Elizabeth is still out there. She's living the Fool's life. She calls on us to listen to the child inside and to follow our instincts. Was Elizabeth always right? Of course not. Do we think we understand what leads her on? I absolutely don't. Her foolish inner core led her and the rest of us forward. So it's like we had the Fool, and we had Elizabeth, and then we had the other 7 of us, and then Marge Durso, the teacher. So I want to say this. Thank you, Elizabeth, for your inspiration. Sometimes I think you were never real, but in the end, I know you were. I was with you for several months. You had to have been real. But all of us have a Fool in our lives. We just need to recognize it when we see it. So we've all got this energy. You just have to know it when you see it. And I do read cards all the time, and occasionally I'll get this reading. I'll get a card, and I'll tell the person, well, you're on a spiritual path, and their eyes are glazing over. Elizabeth didn't do that. She just ran with it. So you just have to recognize this opportunity when you see it. You're going to travel from the magician to the world. So once you have the Fool, your next stop is the magician. And then you have all of these cards, and then your final stop is the world. So you can ask the big questions here. Sometimes when we do ask the big questions, especially when I was very young, it was like, how do I get the nerve to ask that question? The meaning of life? What am I doing? Why am I asking that question? So you can ask those big questions, and you're going to get the answers. And you can ask, what is the purpose of life? And you'll get the answers. Whatever happens or doesn't happen, you can feel as if the answers are waiting for you. Because all you have to do is find them. They're here. All you have to do is find them. And when you go on this search, you are going to be creating, experience by experience, a new normal. And that's an amazing thing. So when you get the fool, celebrate, party. This is it. You've got it. You can ask those questions and you're going to find those answers. And you can celebrate the new normal. So that's an important thing. And when you meet up with the fool, he invites you on the journey of a lifetime for a lifetime. This is a one-way ticket. And this experience calls for a celebration. You're embarking on your own personal spiritual journey, which is going to unlock secrets just for you. So I would say that one of the things that you can do is pick up the phone and schedule a Reiki session. Or pick up the phone and schedule a reflexology session. And hey, go for it. Learn the Reiki. It can't hurt, and it can certainly help. And now I have a short meditation to go with this chapter. Find a quiet, safe, and comfortable place now for your meditation. And if you want, light a candle, burn incense, turn on some healing music. Get comfortable now. Sit or lie with your spine straight. Your goal is to be comfortable enough to be completely unaware of your body. Begin breathing comfortably now. Take a deep breath. Hold it for a moment and release it. See and feel tension leave you with each in or out breath. Your in-breaths bring positive feelings, calm, and peace. And your out-breaths release tension, stress, negativity, and toxicity. Continue with this breathing pattern for a few minutes until you feel calm. Just breathing in the good and getting rid of the toxins as you breathe out. Notice now that you're in a park-like setting surrounded by trees, shrubbery, and plants. You see a rose bush nearby, and this bush has a white bloom. You're seated on a bench with a small dog curled up at your feet. And as you look around, you see the sun is shining, the sky is clear, and the temperature is perfect. You see mountains off in the distance. You see snow-capped mountains way off in the distance. And looking closely around the bench, you see that you're in a clearing in a forest. You see several paths leading around your bench. You know somehow that each of these paths offers a success. And you walk now to the path which you know is the one that's waiting for you. And you know that this path is yours. You know that you can walk down this path whenever you want. It is time for you to return to your Tay now. And you walk now to the place where you were when you first saw the bench. You know that you can return to this place and this travel anytime you want. And taking one last look at the park-like space, you return to your building and your breathing. And when you return to your space, you may decide to journal this moment or take notes to refer to whenever you have questions for the traveler. And thank you for joining this fool with us this evening. And thank you very much, Ellen.
Thank you, Karen.